So, it's the end of yet another week, and here on this channel that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you the viewers to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week a couple big news developments went down, people got fired, and big games occurred, so of course we still have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, it turns out about 49% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Maddox, and he says that the Celtics need to either trade for a big piece or blow it up and rebuild, because he, as a Celtics fan, is tired of mediocre 500 basketball. This one's interesting because it comes off as if it's being said by a Celtics hater until the end, but this is how he, and likely a part of the fan base of the team as a whole, think. The team has definitely had plenty of ups and downs this season, but they currently sit in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, 2 games above 500, and as Maddox insinuates, they don't exactly look like the kind of team prepared to make a deep playoff run right now. Celtics fans were promised dominance over the Eastern Conference just a few short years ago, so for them to now be where they are, I do understand the frustration, but ultimately, I think the sentiment that Maddox here is expressing is a bit of an overreaction. See, the kind of teams that typically blow things up and shift towards a rebuild are the ones who have aging veteran stars, maxed out cap space, and limited expendable assets. A few of those things may apply to the Celtics team, but the most important one does not, being the bit about aging stars past their primes. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both 25 and 23 years old respectively, and so many years left of All-Star play are ahead of them. Their window is not closing anytime soon. You don't abandon ship with a core like that, especially when you still have so much time ahead of you to right the ship and build around 2 young stars like the ones that they have. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Raha, and he says that Evan Mobley and Scottie Barnes should have been drafted ahead of Cade Cunningham in this year's draft. If we're talking from the perspective of who the best rookies have been this year, I don't think anyone would deny the fact that Mobley and Barnes have been the 2 players leading the way so far in the Rookie of the Year race. Mobley's defensive prowess is unlike any rookie we've seen in quite some time, demonstrating a level of versatility as both a rim protector and someone who can move his feet and keep up with quicker, smaller players, which has been vital for the Cavaliers' breakout as a team and their dominance on defense. Barnes, too, has immediately stepped into the Raptors starting lineup and has been one of their best players on both ends of the floor, as his length and agility allow him to defend multiple positions with ease, and offensively, his ability to attack the basket has been much better than originally advertised. With all of this being said, you don't draft players based on who will be better for the first 20 games of their rookie seasons, you draft them based on who you think will have the better long-term careers. Cade Cunningham may have started slowly in his first few games of the season, but lately he has looked sharper than ever and has been playing like a #1 pick. In his last 3 games, he's averaging about 20 points, shooting 54% from the field and 52% from 3, which is a small sample size for sure, but it shows that he's getting more comfortable and improving as the season progresses. Sure, Mobley and Barnes very well may prove to be better over time, but it's far too early to be making these claims, and Cunningham still has loads of potential as an all-around creator, scorer, and leader. The next take we'll be discussing today says that the Golden State Warriors have built the best young core in the NBA, with James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody. The Warriors are blowing everyone's expectations out of the water so far this season, sitting in first place in the Western Conference and playing some unbelievable basketball. On top of that, Jordan Poole has been one of the biggest breakout players in the entire league, averaging 18 points per game and demonstrating a fearless ability to attack and create shots for himself that has taken a lot of pressure off of Stephen Curry's shoulders. Plus, Kuminga and Moody have definitely shown some promise in flashes in the time that they've gotten, albeit with limited minutes, and Wiseman hasn't even gotten to play for them yet, which also could be promising, so of course there's plenty of reason for Warriors fans to be excited about these young players. However, we need to take a deep breath and relax a bit with this talk of best young cores. The Warriors are the best team in the NBA right now because Steph Curry is playing at an MVP level, and a lot of the veterans in the rotation are playing terrific around him. These young players all have promise for sure, but the reality is that besides Poole, the others are contributing pretty scarcely. When we talk about the best young cores in the NBA, you have to look at teams that have legitimate future stars and superstars, like the Grizzlies led by Ja Morant, Hawks led by Trae Young, and Mavericks led by Luka Doncic, amongst so many others. You can be excited about your team's young players without this level of overrating them, so I do very much disagree with this sentiment. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Felix, and he says that LeBron James is no longer a top 10 player in the NBA. Unfortunately, after a long reign at the top, LeBron's claim as the best player in the NBA probably came to an end last season. LeBron was beating Father Time for quite a long time, but ultimately he has started to fall off a tiny bit while still being a tremendous player at 36 years old. After getting eliminated in the first round of the playoffs for the first time ever last season, the Lakers made a lot of big moves to hopefully retool and get back into contention, but they currently sit in 8th place in the West with a .500 record of 12 wins and 12 losses. The once indestructible LeBron is also now struggling through injuries, and while his production is still good, it is down slightly. He settles for taking more threes more often, and he's making them at a less efficient rate, and while it's only a small step that he's losing, he is still losing a step out there. With that said, while I think it's fair to say he's no longer the best player in the NBA, you're probably taking it too far by removing him from the top 10 entirely. He is still LeBron James after all. The team has been better with LeBron healthy, and you can always count on LeBron's team to be active at the trade deadline, so what you see from the Lakers now may not be what you're seeing when the playoffs roll around. We can be realistic about LeBron without going too far one way or the other. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you guys think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.